Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. I will begin by leading a short kirtan, and then I will read a little from my book, I'll Build You a Temple, the Jew Story. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Sagrajata Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Sam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangsa Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Himate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariprajaka Stotra Sutta Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Samstapakacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariprajaka Stotra Sutta Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se Gaur Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. So I'll read briefly from my book, I'll Build You a Temple, the Juhu Story. Building on the success of the Bombay Pandal, Prabhupada sent Tamal Krishna and me to arrange a similar program in Calcutta. And a few days later, the two of us embarked on the long train ride. Our temple in Calcutta was in a large rented house in an aristocratic area in the south central part of the city, near Kamak Street, overlooking a square man-made pond surrounded by a park. One night, after the other devotees had gone to sleep, Tamal Krishna and I were still awake, talking on the balcony. Srila Prabhupada had a few disciples, including himself, Tamal Krishna said, with whom he was especially close and in whom he confided. This was a revelation to me. I had never before distinguished among the senior devotees. I saw them all as my superiors, as devotees whom Prabhupada loved, and I did not make any further distinctions. Tamal Krishna glorified Shyam Sundar, saying that he was one of the biggest preachers in the movement. What do you mean, one of the biggest preachers? I asked. I don't think I have ever heard him give class. Preaching doesn't just mean speaking about Krishna, he replied. Preaching ultimately means engaging people in Krishna's service. Shyam Sundar was the one who had conceived of the Bombay Pandal and organized us all in its execution. He had been instrumental in developing the Life Membership Program and had designed the membership form and written a brilliant appeal, the best I'd ever seen. But the whole time I was working with him, I had never seen him give a class or address the public. Tamal Krishna explained that through activities such as developing the Life Membership Program and staging the first Pandal, and through so many other efforts, Shyam Sundar had engaged thousands of people in Krishna consciousness, and that those too were preaching. This was, for me, an important instruction. Then, returning to his relationship with Srila Prabhupada, Tamal Krishna told me about an incident in 1970 when Prabhupada had felt that some of his disciples were trying to wrest control of the movement from him, and how Prabhupada had called him to Los Angeles and confided in him. Some of the temple leaders were preoccupied with collecting money and were engaging devotees to collect even when it was at the expense of their other devotional practices. And the spiritual lives of the devotees were being hampered. When Prabhupada had become aware of what was happening, he had discussed with Tamal what to do, and they had arrived at ways to reform the situation. For the first time, I understood how much Prabhupada valued him as a confidant and trusted him to help make decisions. The essence of spiritual life. Please listen attentively, my dear devotees. The essence of spiritual life, Tamal Krishna told me, is service to the spiritual master. That point really impressed me and entered deep. We chanted the holy names, read the scriptures, worshiped the deities, and rendered service. That much I knew. But the essence of spiritual life being service to the spiritual master, I had never thought of that. The process of bhakti yoga was all there, and I knew we had to follow all of it. But I did not see how the different practices related to each other. And Tamal Krishna's realization, which I accepted, was that service to the spiritual master was the essence. From then on, my approach to devotional service, even chanting, changed. I still like to chant, but I began to chant more in the mood of service to Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes when we were in Calcutta, Tamal Krishna would get annoyed because I wouldn't want to go out for preaching until I had finished at least 12 rounds. Quote, "Oh, you just want to avoid work," he would say. "That's why you are standing in front of the deities and chanting." Still, he let me. Sometimes he would get more annoyed than other times, but he let me because I needed that. But now my mood was a little different. Yes, I was chanting, but now I was also thinking, I need to chant to do my duties for Srila Prabhupada. If I chant, my consciousness will be purified. Krishna will guide me what to do, and I will be better prepared to deal with people. I will be able to preach more effectively if I chant and purify my consciousness. So, in Mayapur, Srila Prabhupada called me to his room, and after offering my obeisances, I sat at his feet And he explained that when the British were ruling India, they divided the country into 3 provinces: Bombay, Madras, and Calcutta, each ruled by one governor. Prabhupada had never spoken to me about Indian politics or history, and I did not know where this was all going. But I was fascinated, spellbound, and hung on every word, waiting to find out where he was heading. Prabhupada asked me, "Which one do you want?" Prabhupada's question left me speechless. I had never made an independent decision about my service. I told him that I would do whatever he wanted, but he did not accept my answer. He wanted me to decide. So I asked if I could have some time to think about it, and he agreed. I thought and thought, but I could not decide. The preaching in Calcutta was good, but Madras also had potential. And I already knew both people in both places. Then again, Bombay was the biggest field. Actually, all I really wanted to do was to please Srila Prabhupada. But how? After a few days, Prabhupada drove from Mayapur to Calcutta, to the Calcutta temple, and the rest of us followed by bus and train. Once there, I felt that my main service, my assignment, was to determine where I should serve. Whenever I could, I would stand before the beautiful deities of Sri Sri Radha Govinda in Calcutta and chant and pray to them for guidance. I soon realized that Prabhupada was forcing me to come to a higher level of Krishna consciousness. As he sometimes explained, there are 3 classes of devotees, disciples. Please listen attentively, my dear devotees. The 3rd class receives an instruction from the spiritual master and then forgets it, or neglects to act upon it, or argues. The 2nd class disciple receives an instruction from the spiritual master and executes it perfectly. And the 1st class disciple knows what the spiritual master wants and does it, even without being told. To obey the order of the spiritual master requires some basic submission. But to know the desire of the spiritual master without being told requires much more spiritual advancement. How could I try to trick Srila Prabhupada? I felt so ashamed trying to cheat my spiritual master. But I also felt exhilarated. My spiritual master was so great and perfect that he could not be fooled. When, after 5 days in Calcutta, Prabhupada left for Vrindavan and Bombay, I continued to ponder my situation. If I go back to Madras, I considered, I can preach on my own. But if I stay in Calcutta, I can help teach others to preach also. That was better. So I crossed Madras off the list. Finally, after many days of thought and prayer, the answer came. I should go to Bombay. The most important program in India was life membership. Srila Prabhupada had written, "If you all get me at least 2 life members daily, I shall do the rest." And he was pleased that I was making so many life members. But many members were up in arms against us because we had not given them everything we had promised. We were making life members, I reasoned, but were we taking care of them? If we took care of them, they would be so pleased that they themselves would make more members. But if we neglected them, they would feel cheated and speak ill of us. Then even when we ourselves approached people, they would not agree. I felt that I should go to Bombay and organize the life membership program on an all-India basis. I wrote Prabhupada my conclusion. Since Bombay had the most life members and was our head office, I should come and, if required, take care of the life members and attend to other affairs related to the head office. Prabhupada seemed pleased. Quote, I am very glad to inform you that today we have laid down the cornerstone for our Bombay Center here in Juhu, he replied. And the ceremony was very wonderful, with many important people attending. I'm very much glad that you are doing so nicely in Calcutta by making life members daily. So now I think you should join me in Bombay immediately, as soon as you are free, after training up a competent replacement there. We have also a few days back laid the cornerstone for our Vrindavan temple. And they have given me many more rooms at Radha Damodar temple for our use. The program now in India is an immense task, so I am very much encouraged that you feel yourself enthusiastic to help me in this way by taking a bold lead for pushing on this movement here. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So are we able to show that video?
This instruction was given to His Holiness Giriraj Swami personally by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada in 1971 and repeated over the years. In more than 5 decades since, Giriraj Swami has served Srila Prabhupada faithfully and tirelessly, sharing his experiences and realizations with us in his books. Have you ever wondered how service to God relates to service to man? What was Srila Prabhupada's vision that led people around the world?
Watering the seed is an invaluable offering to all aspirants on the path of devotion, with many wonderful personal exchanges between Srila Prabhupada and his dear disciple. Giriraj Swami kindly shares his realizations with the honesty, wisdom, and humility for which he is known and loved. It transports us into Srila Prabhupada's intimate association during some of the most historic moments of ISKCON's development.
It's like in the sky there is one moon only, and there are millions of stars. But one more dissipate the whole darkness of the night. Similarly, at least those who have taken to Krishna consciousness, each of you become a moon and a light to the world.
The great souls described in these pages are bright, full moons of Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Their lives are living instructions. Their activities, chandrikas, cooling, illuminating moonbeams of Vaishnav sharing, teaching, and realization.
With their unconditional love and dedication to Srila Prabhupada, these personalities built this worldwide movement and gifted it to us to be nurtured by it and to serve.
Exclusive treatise on one's last days of life that gives readers the resource to face death squarely. And deal successfully with that often fearful and painful, but also saving moment. Down to earth and practical as well as scriptural, both fresh and mature. It draws us in with superb narrative and also answers tough questions about death and dying.
Drawing from both spiritual leaders and experts in the field of hospice and palliative medicine, life's final exam has universal application.
One of the most important books about Srila Prabhupada. It's about Srila Prabhupada and his Leela of years of heartbreak and struggle in Juhu, Mumbai. No one else can write this book like His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj.
Srila Prabhupada's struggle to establish Hare Krishna land and build a temple for Sri Sri Radha Rasa Bihari in Juhu on the outskirts of Bombay was perhaps the greatest effort of his preaching movement. By the strength of his desire, an overgrown plot of land in what had been a remote fishing village, infested with rats, snakes, and mosquitoes, became a place of pilgrimage and devotional service. And after a prolonged and arduous but victorious struggle, when the conveyance was finally signed, he declared, "It was a good fight. Someone should write a book about it."
"I'll build you a temple" transports us into one of the great events of our time. It is a story of surrender on the path of pure love, an incomparable story that many have tried to relate, but which no one will ever be able to tell like His Holiness Giriraj Swami.
From the beginning, Giriraj Swami served the Juhu project in various roles for 30 years and spent years researching, writing, and preparing the book for publication. It is part of ISKCON history, a complement to Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita.
This book is a page-turner to the highest degree. Once you begin, you just can't put it down.
Giriraj Swami has written his 5th book, Dancing White Elephants. Traveling with Srila Prabhupada in India, August 1970 to March 1972. Covering visits to Amritsar, Indore, Surat, Bombay, Calcutta, Allahabad, Gorakhpur, Delhi, Madras, and Mayapur. In some 400 pages of text and 17 images, Dancing White Elephants, with the foreword by Malati Dasi, who was present for most of the adventures, will captivate the minds and hearts of readers and increase their attachment to and love for Srila Prabhupada and his white elephants, his disciples who helped him in his mission.
Through Maharaj's carefully chosen words, you will see the exquisite sights and feel like you are living the experiences that were part of establishing the Hare Krishna movement in India. You will meet incredible devotees who became the pillars of this movement through their own storied spiritual growth and advancement, and be introduced to seemingly ordinary persons whose lives became transformed by contact with Prabhupada and his dancing white elephants, just as he envisioned.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta